This is your first cameo ever.
Oh, yeah. I feel so honoured.
Think of something good to say. Hello, my name is Eve. Welcome to my hallway. Not going to show you outside because I don't want anyone to rob me. I've just got home from work. Welcome to my evening. Welcome to my derelict corridor. And today I want to talk to you about one of my goals. One of my goals for 2022 has basically been to commit to a student growth mindset. If you're new here, I have just quit my job as a lawyer and I'm in the second month of my new job in the tech industry, which I will tell you all about. I found out very quickly that career pivots are very weird because you're very passionate about something and you're very enthusiastic about something, and that's probably the reason you moved, because you're so kind of like excited about something else. Despite all of that, you still know very little. There's a huge information deficit about the new industry that you're moving into, and also you're suddenly working with people who have been in that industry for many years. I'm in month 2 and I quickly realized there's quite a lot to catch up on. I'm trying to navigate this how I go. I'm trying to land on my feet. I'm trying to girl boss this, and I frankly have girl bossed too much because it turns out that tech is more complex than law. So that was a good decision from me. But low-key, I'm a total nerd about it and I'm really excited, so. Hey! Notion is sponsoring today's video, and all I can say is thank boy do I need some organization in my life. I'm committing to a lot of different new chapters. Drink every time I say chapter in this video. I'm committing to a lot of different types of learning this year. All are somewhat connected to me starting in a new industry and having to pick up a lot of information very quickly. But I need to find somewhere to track that learning and kind of have everything all in one place. This is my current stack of notebooks. Don't know why I put them on my shoulder, but this is my current stack of notebooks and to-do lists. Some of them are like ones I put work notes in, some of them I use for my lectures, which I'll talk to you about in a second. Like, I have a lot of different things, and it turns out with Notion you can put them all in one place, and I've been ignoring everyone who's told me to get Notion for the past like 2 years, and I finally got it, and it's literally changed my life. For those of you who don't know what Notion is a completely customizable online workspace, and you can make it real pretty as well, which is what I like the most. So I've just created my own template because I thought I'd rather just start from scratch and create something that's like totally functional for everything I need. So I've called it my career dashboard, which sounds kind of narcissistic, but you know what, I'm working on myself, so I guess it really has to be. I'm doing it per month, so each month I come back to my dashboard and I update it for the next month. First thing I've got is a tracker, which is really funny because at the moment it just says year, month, week, day. Tells you the percentage of which you've moved through that with some funky HTML coding. There was also an option for a percentage of through your life. So basically you could tell it the year that you were born and what you think your life expectancy is. They predicted around 80, so they were like, you'll probably live till 80, and then it will tell you your progress bar through life. I don't know about anyone else, but that would simply spiral me if I could see the decreasing amount of life that I've got left to live. So I decided to cut that statistic off my tracker. So at the top, I've set my job-specific February goals. Super simplistic, 4 goals which I want to keep working on throughout February. And then I come down to 4 different blocks, and these basically set out the 4 different focuses that I want to have in terms of my student mindset for my career in 2022. So first, I've got functional learning. Second, I've got 5-minute quick wins. Third, I've got industry specific things that can be related to creating a community, creating network, or creating content. And fourth, I've got my favorite thought leadership for February 2022. At the very bottom, I've got an actions board, so all of the different actions which I want to have completed by the end of February. Now, this is fantastic for me because this means that I have everything all in one place. I can update it all in one place. If this looks like something that would help you in your workflow, then click the link in the top line of the description or in my pinned comment, and it will link you straight through to Notion and you can start using it yourself. Also, if the career dashboard template looks like something that could be helpful for you at all, then you can go and actually use it yourself. There's a link in my description and it will take you through to the template and you can save it to your own Notion board, so we can all just get in it together.
Yeah, the world is so small till it ain't. I'm building up a wall till it break.
This morning I'm going to record a podcast episode with the Financial Times Work and Careers podcast. which is very exciting. They called me a lawfluencer. I may have to update them about my job. It is quite a beautiful morning though. I literally haven't been I haven't been this awake this early in years.
Somewhere above you keep reaching up. That's really all it takes. We don't need nothing but today.
You know, whether it comes to people writing small posts on LinkedIn, whether they have small blogs, or whether they have an Instagram highlights reel where they talk about their industry, I think it's actually something that also gives women a lot of empowerment as well. A quote I read recently is that we should aim for bravery, we shouldn't aim for perfection. And it's the idea that actually if you push yourself to just engage in as much as you can, and you're not trying to just always present a perfect image of yourself, then that could actually take you further in terms of getting you connections that you weren't even aware of.
Perfect. You're the most eloquent guest we have ever had by a distance.
It's currently 8 AM in the city of London. I'm on the roof of the Financial Times. I'm kind of like speechless. I feel very grateful. I love speaking to people. I love talking about all these really interesting subjects about careers.
Yeah. I don't need to lie no more. Nowadays all I do is shine, take a breath and ease my mind, yeah. She don't cry no more. She tell me that I get her high, cause an angel's supposed to fly. And I ain't asking why no more. No, I take it if it's mine, I don't stay inside the lines.
I'd never come across anyone who had gone down that path before.
No.
I thought in my head, if you go to the tech industry, you have to know how to code, or you have to be an engineer or something.
High barriers to entry.
Exactly. I had no idea that somebody like me could go in and have a meaningful role within the company. I literally just on a whim, there and then at that time, thought, let me shoot my shot, see what happens. And the rest is history. I made that pivot, and I was very fortunate to have a really great graduate experience at Facebook. I took a pay cut of roughly about 10K, but the way I saw it was, I would rather take that cut now because I know in the long term I can make up for it. And it's a short-term sacrifice for a long-term play.
The last thing, and I always like come to you and others in my life for advice on this, but kind of like, how do you find yourself continuously practicing self-development, having the humility to say, I don't know everything, I want to learn more? How do you kind of keep that discipline?
I would say, look, number one is I don't always do it. I'm not able to always do it. And there's so many times where I doubt myself, I have some form of imposter. Every single new job or opportunity I've taken, I'm like, oh, here it comes. It started alongside my journey with mental health and the challenges that I've had with that. You know, I was diagnosed with mixed anxiety and depression disorder when I was 17. And that really opened my eyes to how to, number one, be more mindful, but secondly, how to cultivate a more positive mindset. And I've been very blessed to have worked with some great therapists and counselors in the past that have really coached me along the way. But I think innately there's always been something in me that has stemmed probably from my childhood. You know, I've watched my parents work incredibly hard and sacrifice so much. I just want to live a great life. I want to live a life that has meaning to me and the others around me, but more so than that, has a positive impact and that I can be satisfied with. I think to myself, one day I'm going to be old and grey, and hopefully, you know, touch wood, I live long enough to see that day. I want to be able to look back on my life and think, I had a really great time living, and I met some amazing people. I did some incredibly memorable things, and I can rest knowing that I took every last drop out of my life. However you want to define that, and whatever you decide success is to you or fulfillment is to you, is, you know, very, very subjective. But to me, I really hope that one day I can look back and just be proud of the life I lived. And I think that pushes me each and every day to make sure that I am working towards my dreams and my goals.
Big enough to bury my soul. Weight of the world, I gotta carry my own. With these arms, I can carry you home. I'm right here when you're scared and alone.
I look like the moon emoji today. And that's just where we're at. There's nothing that can change that, and I need you to be okay with it. Welcome to my computer and coffee science morning. Wait, what? Computer and coffee science? As I discussed with Danny, there are a number of roles within the tech industry which you don't necessarily need a technical background. Now, in the tech industry, when people say technical background, this usually means that you have an engineering qualification or you just have a number of years of work experience in the technical industry, which means that you've picked up a number of technical skills. Now, as a side note on all of this, I have always been really intrigued by computer science. I have always studied law. Now, despite that, love for all things humanities, all things essay writing, actually half of my A-levels were all in science. And I really like understanding how things work. Despite the fact that I don't need a technical background to actually do my day-to-day job, I found that it's important to me to have more of a contextual understanding of basically just basic computer science, understanding what programming means, so that when I'm in situations where there are conversations being had around me, I at least have a better idea of what people are talking about and I have more of an ability to input and have a view on things. So Harvard actually offers CS50 and this is completely online. It's a 12-week course. My basic goal at the start was basically just to see how long I lasted, because I have no idea kind of how complex this is going to get and whether it's something that clicks more naturally for me or whether it's something that is actually going to challenge me quite a lot. I'm currently at week 3 and it's going okay, so we'll see how much longer I last. It's quite information heavy, so while the lectures are on, I generally take a lot of notes. And then you have a homework piece. You can't just watch lectures, you hand in a piece that gets graded, although I think it's graded by a fake teacher, a programmed AI kind of type teacher, which is very computer sciencey. But you hand in projects and then at the end you actually do a final project as well. So it's exciting. If I put sun on the tree, it grows. If I put lightning on the tree, it decreases. And if I drop water on the tree, it increases 1 point in hydration. And that is literally the extent of my game.
And you ain't that different. I struck the fuck out and then I came back.
Hello, I'm currently packing for a trip. I don't know why, but all of my energy is unhinged today. All of it. I also dyed my hair, but more about the hair and the trip in the next video. I realized recently that I didn't really have any role models in tech, people who I'd look up to and say, oh, I want to be like that one day. I think role models are really important. I think whether that's because of representation, whether that's because it makes you think differently about what you can do as a woman or what you could do as a queer person or whatever they represent in you that makes you feel more welcome to a space. So this morning I'm going to tell you about the 2 incredible women that I have included in my Notion board this month. So the first is Whitney Wolfe Herd. You've probably heard of her before. She's the CEO of Bumble and she has an amazing story of how she came to be CEO. One thing I didn't know about Whitney Wolfe Herd was that she's actually the ex-co-founder of Tinder. And she left Tinder because she claimed that there was assault in the workplace, and the assault was actually by the other co-founder who was her partner at the time, and then he kicked her out of the company and she actually went on to sue for sexual misconduct, and it sounded like she had a really awful experience. So she essentially left Tinder and was like, so I now know exactly how tech companies shouldn't be run and exactly why it's important to have ethics and mission statements within dating apps and dating companies. The business model of Bumble is also the idea of creating safe digital online spaces for women, because only women can message first on Bumble. The final thing I love is that she has no technical background. She's not an engineer. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure she has built up years of technical experience now, but when she first started, she'd never written a line of code. The second really cool woman is Reshma Saujani, and she is the founder and CEO of Girls Who Code. So I watched Reshma's TED Talk on Teach Girls Bravery, Not Perfection. I've already spoke about that once in this video, and it spoke to me so much in terms of realizing that often as girls we can be held back from things because things aren't exactly right, whether it's because we don't apply for a job because we don't think we meet the specific requirements that are on the job description, whereas many of our male counterparts may apply directly to that job with a confidence of bravery that they still feel like they would be able to be successful in that position. And that's something I feel as women we can get better at, and better at teaching our further generations about women really like bridling that value of bravery, especially in a completely patriarchal society. Girls Who Code is also amazing. It's a non-for-profit organisation. They've now taught over 300,000 girls how to code, and they're basically trying to change the way that we perceive a computer engineer to look like. She's also from a non-traditional background as well, similar to Whitney. So she actually went to law school. I keep them on my Notion board because it reminds me to basically just work hard. It reminds me to keep going. And it also really validates me that they're not people that have come from super technical backgrounds, but they've still found success. I hope you really enjoyed this. I kind of wanted to talk you both through my Notion board, my current outlook on the growth mindset, how I'm just trying to work towards that mindset. I'm not there yet, but I'm trying to work towards it. And then also give some examples throughout my week of how I've tried to engage in all the things that I plan. I'm a very firm believer this year in actions speak louder than words, and I'm no longer telling people that I'm doing something unless I've already started or I'm making like good progress through it. So yeah, that's the end of this video, and I will see you in a different country sometime soon.
I don't need to lie no more. Nowadays all I do is shine, take a breath and ease my mind, and she don't cry no more. She tell me that I get her high, cause an angel's supposed to fly, and I ain't asking why no more.